Hello, once again, I'm Rob, YouTube's granddad. I first would like to say thank you to everybody that messaged me with helpful hints and advice about my first video. So hopefully this one comes across a bit better than what the first one did. So let's get into the first video, or second one technically. How did Buddhism change my life? As a kid, I grew up believing in God, like most people do. I was a altar boy. I went to church a little bit. I went to the church socials, and you know, that's how I grew up. But I think a lot of people did when I was a little bit smaller. When I was probably about 14, I kind of lost, I don't know if you go out and you lose interest in the church, maybe in God and things like that. And I don't know, I kind of lost something inside myself. You know, like when you're always trying to search for something in your life, which I think we all go through at some stage or another. So fast forward to early 2000s, it was 2003, I think it was, maybe 2002, I can't remember which one it was now. I was going through a real bad patch in my life with lots of things going wrong for me, you know, with like life does at the end of the day. And I was just not in a good place. And my nephew and a friend of ours were going to go to Thailand for about 3 weeks, I think it was. And they kept saying, come along, they'll sort you out, you know, just enjoy yourself, get out of England, get some sun. And I wasn't sure, to be honest, but my sister was going on about it. In the end I booked it, went with them. Great holiday. Thailand, first time I landed out there, it was in its 40s, never been aboard before. It was a struggle, but I'll talk about Thailand in other videos, how much it's changed over the years. But we'll stay on point and just stick with the Buddhism to start off with. So, why? Okay, so I went to Thailand to try and sort my head out, and I'd been there about 2 weeks. I was enjoying myself, having fun and all this sort of stuff, and doing a lot of the water stuff, and going to a lot of the sightseeing stuff around Pattaya, which is my go-to place a lot of the time in Thailand. Mainly because it has a lot of tourist stuff out there, a lot. I think it's like now, I think it's about 70% of the tourist stuff is around Pattaya, but I digress. We'll go into that in lots more other videos anyway. So I'd been there about 2 weeks, and I was sitting by what is called a dolphin roundabout now. I think it was still called the same back then. And all around this roundabout were shops, some bars, cafes, you know, that sort of thing. And it's quite a big roundabout, I'd say probably 30 foot across, give or take. And in the middle of the roundabout was this like little wooden plinth, I suppose to put it, with a reasonably sized Buddha statue on top of it. And right near the bottom of this roundabout, because it's like a couple of layers as it went off, there was an old guy sitting there. Oh, he looked vagabonds, honestly, looked like he hadn't eaten in weeks. And I was just sitting at the cafe having a cup of tea probably and breakfast, and I remember just watching this guy for quite a little bit, just I don't know, you know when you sit there and you just people watch and you watch the world go by while you're on holiday, you know, t-shirt and shorts, chilling out, relaxing. And this old guy was just sitting there, and to be honest, I was just so at ease at that point. And I remember, excuse me, I remember just hearing like in the far background like a little ting, and I didn't think anything of it, and then it just started getting closer. And then all of a sudden, I think it was about 4 monks come walking out, and they were like hitting these little things, so that's what the ting was coming from. And they walked slowly across the road, and all the cars around the roundabout, and it was a busy road, all just stopped. There was no BP, no hassles, no problems. They all just stopped. It was almost like someone just took a picture. Everything just stopped. These monks walked over to this roundabout, and they were sort of pulling a small wooden cart, is the best way to do it. And they went up to the roundabout. This old guy got on his hands and knees, which now I know it's for. He was like going to get a blessing of the monks. They collected all the food, the money, the ornaments, what else, all the trinkets that were up there, put them all in their cart. Now, the bit that kind of got me a little bit was that these monks gave this old guy, they did the blessings, and they gave him, I think it was about 3 bits of fruit, something like that. Can't be 100% sure, that's been quite a few years. And this guy he looked like he'd won the lottery. It was like one of the most amazing things I'd ever seen. And it's just like, you know, I don't know, it's just a bit surreal really. And the monks walked off, and it was a well weird thing. It happened when I did Suncrown Festival out there, which again, another video. But the monks as they walked off the roundabout, nobody moved. And as they got round the corner, you know, they were hitting their thing, and literally the second they got off the road and walked round the corner, they were just outside. Everything just sort of started to speed up, get all the cars start going. It was wow weird. Never happened in England. Imagine a priest trying to walk across to a roundabout. But I went over and spoke to this guy, and he could speak probably broken English, probably the best way to put it. And I invited him over to get something to eat. I paid for it, bought him some food, some drink, and I just sat there for probably about an hour and a half talking to this guy. And that's probably where my thing comes from, about wanting to listen to other people's lives and stories. And he went on saying about what his life was like, and yeah, I had to ask him, why was he so happy with just a couple of bits of fruit, when, you know, might have been horrible, but he could have took the money, the fruit, food, everything, and just disappeared. And he just simply said, I didn't need anything else. And I'll be honest, it's almost like my brain short-circuited. It was like, but you do, surely. But I don't know. It just looks at him just like there's no comprehension of that he needed anything more at that point. And he looked so happy and contented in his life. I'd love to like meet people in the UK that are like that, because there's not many, even nowadays, with everyone's busy lives and everything else. So yeah, we finished up. We said our goodbyes. I gave him a little bit of money, what I'd left in my pocket, which wasn't a lot, but he was still grateful. And he went off. We went and sat back down at the roundabout. It was like, okay. So I walked off, but it just stuck with me the whole time. So after he'd left, I'd left, and I'd gone back to the hotel, sort stuff out. I went to a shopping mall, South America now, and bought a Buddhist, like little statues in a glass case. I'm hoping it works, and it might be that way or that way on the screen. I'm hoping I can insert a picture and show you guys. And when I got home, I put it on top of a shelf mantelpiece above the fireplace, and every day I looked at it, and no idea why, but for some reason it gave me a little bit of happiness, you know, just to see that there. Maybe it's just thinking back about being on holiday, I don't know. So like I do with everything in life, I bought books, watched videos, obviously pre-YouTube, bought all about as much as I could to do with Buddhism. After a while I realised that the study of Buddhism was giving me, I don't know, some sense of fulfilment. And I don't know, it just kind of spoke to me more. As I got more and more into it, and everything that I learned, it was weird. The things that I was learning was kind of like how I used to feel and how I used to think. And I don't know, it kind of got me back on track, if that makes sense. But I've been a Buddhist for about 20 years now. And I try and live my life to the Buddhist ways as best I can, you know, in a modern world. I still like and love listening to people talk about being a Buddhist, and everyone's different experiences and why they got into it, what you get out of it and what you don't get out of it, because everybody's different. Everybody will get something out of something that somebody else won't, because it's your train of thought of what you need maybe at that time of your life. Now there is the timing for me and why the Buddha's teaching spoke to me. When the Buddha became enlightened, and I won't go too far into it yet, I will do other videos about the Buddha, but when the Buddha became enlightened under the Bhagavad tree, he himself said he was not a god, and he was just a man that had become enlightened. The Buddha emphasised the practice, the nature of the ideas, favouring physiological, if I said that right, inquiry over religious dogma. And at the time, it kind of like, all I could think of was, yeah, I get that. And there's so many different mantras or sayings or phrases, however you want to word it, that are said just sort of aligns with the way I think as a Buddhist. It helped me to sort out things that were going on in my life at the time. One of the mantras I love, which is simple but helped me at the time, which is, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment you're in. And for me, I don't know, I just like totally, I got it, if that makes sense. And what I interpret that being, because I mean, how many people, you know, especially say my age, how many people still live in the 80s, for instance, you know, are always thinking, oh, it was always better days then, it was always better days then, I wish I could go back. Then there's other people who have the other train of thought of, you know, oh, in the future I could be doing this, I could be doing that, I'm not happy in my life now, but in the future it's going to get better. But we don't realise a few more days you're in that future. So for me, the bit about concentrating on the moment you're in is so much more important, because you will have a happier life. You will be sort of so much more relaxed about everything. So, but I do now reflect and realise that I became a Buddhist because I needed to find some meaning in my life. I don't personally see Buddhism, and I know this will go against some people's thoughts, but I don't personally see Buddhism as a religion. Even the Buddha said it wasn't. For me, it's all about a way of life, a way of thinking, a philosophy, a moral code that you should live by, you know. And I think if you can get that, and don't get me wrong, it takes you a while to, you know, you can listen to all these things, but until you can think or feel these things, it's really hard. But even if you listen to all the different mantras and everything else, you know, some you'll agree with, some you won't. Some will fit how you think and how you feel in your life and everything else. And again, that's absolutely fine. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Buddhism suits me and my ideas and the way that I live. Just because I'm a Buddhist, you know, it doesn't mean I don't get angry. Of course I do. Everybody does, especially in the modern world. You know, let's be honest, traffic. Who doesn't get angry in traffic half the time? Who doesn't beep somebody or, you know, look at somebody because they've annoyed you? But we all do that. But it's more about letting it go, about how you deal with that. The best way I can put it being that, say you get really, really annoyed with somebody at work, for instance, you know, and you don't voice your opinion, or you don't say what you want to say, but that person will completely ignore you, then carry on with their day. Their day's not changed, they're just normal. But what you do, you hold all that anger inside, all that frustration and all that annoyance, you know, and then maybe the rest of your day carries on the same way. You get annoyed with people and things like, you know, you've got a wife and kids, you go home and your kids are being the kids, playing up a little bit like they do sometimes, you know, and you really get angry with them or react to them really badly, all because you haven't trained your mind in a way to be able to let things go. And it's not easy. No, it's not easy. Sometimes it's easier than others, you know, for whatever reason. It could be because of the person, the situation, what you got angry about. But for me, it's all about being able to let go of that. I mean, I don't think there's anyone in the world can't say they don't get angry. But I'm going to do more videos on Buddhism, more about the Buddha, and also what I do to practice. I don't do it every day. I live my code every day, but I don't practice as such every day. I meditate. I'll show you how I meditate, and everything else, and why I do certain things, and hopefully maybe you'll get something out of it that really will help you. So this is near the end now. Thanks for watching again. So please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon or bell icon, whichever way it is. That will really help my channel to grow, and it makes me happy when people do. It shows appreciation. So what I will say from now, the next video will probably be to do with the shed. So for now, be happy. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and keep smiling.